Ladies and gentlemen, I, Piyush Madke, welcome you all to the Table Talks at the 53rd International Film Festival of India, Goa. Cinema knows no language, but it surely knows emotions and the passion people have for the films. Today, we are delighted to have the star cast and filmmakers of 3 feature films of Indian Panorama in 2 different languages, which is also a testimony to the diversity of film IFFI has. Film Frame, EKDA KAAY ZALA, and MAHANANDA, which is a Bengali film, is there. Although the distinguished guests need no introduction, but I would like to take the opportunity to briefly introduce them. We have the makers of Frame, director of the film, Mr. Vikram Patwardhan ji. Vikram Patwardhan ji is a photojournalist in Pune, Maharashtra, and has covered varied subjects from culture to crime to politics to sports, and Frame is his debut film as a director. Congratulations, Vikram ji.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We also have the cast and crew of Mahananda, director Shri Arindam Seal Dada, who is also an actor, writer, producer in Bengali film industry and has a long list of movies in his kitty. We welcome you to 53rd IFFI. Along with him, Pandit Bikram Ghosh Dada, he is the music director of the film and has worked with Arindam Dada for 18 films. Wow. They have been together. Wow. Wow. We also have the lead cast in the film.
It's a marriage.
We also have the lead cast in the film, Miss Gargi Roy Chaudhary. She is of the dais. And the producer, Firdausil Hassan Saab, he is also of the dais. He has joined us. We'll be beginning with EKDA KAAY ZALA. Once upon a time, we have the director, Dr. Salil Kulkarni Saab, who has also done the screenplay of the movie. He has authored many Marathi bestsellers, composed music for around 35 films. We also welcome the lead cast in the film, Sumit Raghavan ji. We have seen his work in popular daily soaps such as Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai, Sajan Re, Jhoot Mat Bolo, and many more. So, moving forward, I hope that all of you must have watched these 3 movies, but for those who haven't watched, I would like to give a brief synopsis of the film followed by the trailers. Starting from movie Frame. It tells about Chandu Pansare, the character played by Nagaraj Manjureji, a 45-year-old ace photojournalist. And he says, just like a profession, our life is also an art, and there is no format for any art. To a newly joined photojournalist, Siddharth Deshmukh, who is played by Mr. Amay Wagh. Both work for a newspaper in Pune, Maharashtra. Bringing Chandu's quote to life, what follows is the chain of uncertain events in their personal and professional lives, and how a natural calamity changes their course of lives is depicted in this film, Frame. Let's watch the trailer of the film, Frame. We'll see the poster of the film, Frame. Yeah. So you can see the lead actors, Nagaraj Manjureji and Amay Wagh.
Yeah, better.
And more you need to discover by yourself. Second film we have is EKDA KAAY ZALA, Once Upon a Time. And to give a brief synopsis of the film, I would say, EKDA KAAY ZALA is a phrase often used to start any story. The film is about a man, Kiran, who runs a school and believes that any story can convey any thought under the sky, however big or small it is. He applies his stories in teaching all the subjects in school, where his son Chintan also studies. When he come across a difficult situation in his life and has to convey news, how he conveys a news which is a bad news to his son, this is depicted in the film. Father and child relationship is depicted in the film, and he resorts to his philosophy of using stories, which takes us all back to those innocent days. Let us watch the trailer of एकदा काय झालं.
गोष्टीला आणि गोष्ट ऐकणाऱ्याला वय नसतं. मुळात आपण सतत तात्पर्य सांगत राहतो मुलांना आणि मोठ्यांना सुद्धा. पण जर गोष्ट आवडली तर तात्पर्य आपोआप लक्षात राहतं. आपण वेचत राहायला हव्यात गोष्टी आणि वेचता वेचता आपणच एक पात्र होऊन जातो गोष्टीतलं. मला खात्री आहे कोणताही विषय असो, कुठलाही नाजूक मुद्दा असो, गोष्टीतून पोचवता येतोच आणि तो कायमचा स्मरणात राहतो. करूया ना या महिन्यात नवीन गोष्ट.
कुठली गोष्ट? कोण लिहिणार?
मला एक मुलगा माहितीये. हो ना बाबा.
तर ही माझ्या गोष्टींची गोष्ट.
शाबास. चिंतनला काय व्हायचंय मोठेपणी?
मी ना सेम बाबा होणार.
We move towards our third film for today, a Bengali film, Mahananda. Mahananda depicts a story of Mohal Basu, an enthusiastic college student who wants to pursue her PhD research on the writer and socio-political activist Mahananda Bhattacharya. For that, she goes to Mahananda herself despite warnings from everyone, and a series of events occur in their lives which changes Mohal's thinking completely. The film is based on the life and works of eminent writer and socio-political activist Mahasweta Devi ji. Let us watch the trailer of Mahananda.
চট্টি সেই ছেলেটার নাম, চট্টি সেই নদীটারও নাম। চট্টি যেবার জন্মায় সেবার নাকি চট্টি নদীতে বান ডেকেছিল, চট্টিকেও বানে পেল, সে বান আরেক বান।
যত আন্দোলন ঘটছে সব গ্রামে আর জঙ্গলে, এই যে শহরে এতদিন একটা কাণ্ড ঘটছে, পুলিশের অত্যাচারে বিনা বিচারে জেলের ভেতর দিনের পর দিন স্বাধীনতার পর মারা যাচ্ছে ছেলেগুলো, সেটা লিখবেন না?
Please give a big round of applause for all the three films. As Dr. Salil Kulkarni ji has to catch a flight, I am inviting him first to please share his thoughts on the making of Ekda Kai Zala and how much connect with Kiran you have, Dr. Saab.
You can take this.
Good morning, everyone. I have been doing songs for kids for a long time now, and I've been very fortunate that any Marathi kid all over the world, they grow up listening to my songs, and that's a real, I think that's a blessing for me. So when I kept working with kids, I always thought that we presume that kids perceive any news we tell in a certain way, but there should be a very peculiar, delicate way of telling any kind of news to the kid. Maybe a happy, even a good news, and a bad news. And that's where this thought began in my mind. And I was writing this story for a long time because it's not a very easy thought of conveying something through stories when you are not in good shape yourself. So this character in this film which Sumit has played, he's a storyteller, and when his son, who is like totally dependent on his father, hero worshipping his father, and he just wants to be his father, like next Kiran he wants to be. And when there is such a difficult situation and he goes in complete denial and nothing works, like no psychiatrist, no friends, nothing works, then his storyteller father comes up with few stories, and then effectively the problem gets resolved. So basically the experience of working with kids worked for me in this film, because it was not easy to get those scenes done by the kids, because the kid basically who played his son's role was just 8.5 at that time. I just kept watching, kept auditioning kids. I must have watched around 1700 kids for those 4 kids, because I wanted a kid who would look exactly like Sumit Raghavan. Because if there are different scenes when because he's copying his father, so he's wearing the same kind of costume, he's carrying same kind of bag, so that visual impact gives us something different. So and his son is quite old for that, his own son. So we had to audition. So we had to audition lots of kids, and it was a great experience. Basically, I've done music for a long time. Now that we have wonderful people from Bangla music industry, I've worked a lot with Kaushiki ji as well. For a few ragmalas I have done with her. So basically, this is a wonderful platform for me, and we both are we all are feeling blessed. I remember the moment when I recorded a song with Lata ji, maybe her last song. That was the moment when I was so overwhelmed, equally overwhelmed I was yesterday, watching my film with the audience, because the audience if they watch it with kind of logic or kind of, they watch it technically also, they watch it as a curriculum many a times. But still, I could not see any dry eye when we finished the film, and that was, I think, a huge kind of reaction for me. So this is about the film, and of course, making songs for my own film is different, because you know exactly how they are going to be shot. Otherwise, you are always thinking कि क्या होगा गाने का, in good or bad way, कि ये गाना तो कर दिया मैंने, आगे क्या होगा. You are always sometimes you are surprised in a good way or bad way also. But this was a different experience to compose songs for my own song, and Sumit has played, I think, a wonderful role. To work with people like him, people like Dr. Mohan Agashe, was a blessing for me. So thank you so much, and it's a privilege to share stage with such big filmmakers. Thank you. Thank you.
I now request Sumit Raghavanji, the lead actor, to please share his thoughts on the film.
Namaskar, respected guests, fellow filmmakers, and the press. This has been a kind of a fantastic journey. As an actor, I've always tried to play the waiting game, because it's easy to get lost. It's easy. We normally, everybody thinks about their EMIs and their loans. कि अरे गाड़ी ली अभी उसके लिए काम करना है. But I always thought that an actor's shelf life is very limited. So, जितना रुक कर काम करेंगे उतना अच्छा है. And then something like this happens, and then your faith strengthens. EKDA KAAY ZALA happened before the lockdown. 2019 December we started, and March 2020 the entire country was shut. So after a good 2 years, the film saw the light of the day. That is, this August we released the film. But a father-son relationship can never get old. A lockdown or any catastrophe can never, mar the the strength or the magic of such relationships. And it's a universal subject, you know. This could happen even in Bangla, this could happen in Oriya, in any language, because a father and a son. And again there are no social stratas, you know. मतलब businessman का बेटा अलग होता है और गरीब का बेटा अलग होता है, ऐसे नहीं. The relationship, the love that they have for each other is the same. So this story happened, and when Salil narrated this story to me, I said I am going to do this film, because you seldom come across such scripts, and I'm not you know, boasting, or I'm not trying to butter Salil up, because I have known Salil for the past 17 years. He has been in this industry as a music director for the past 25 years. I know the kind of work he has done for kids. He's composed around 800 songs, and out of which a lot for kids. So I know he knows the nubs of a child. And when I read the script, it was like speaking in my house. It was like speaking to my son. The lines were so colloquial. And then we had an ensemble cast of the great Dr. Mohan Agashi and Suhas Joshi, and you know, who have toured the international circuit and whose films have showcased all over around the world. So it was a fantastic experience. And then we had the great Shankar Mahadevan blessing us with his voice, and his son has co-produced this film. So you know, everything fell into place. And so even after this lockdown, when our film came out, the kind of reviews that we have received everywhere, right from Singapore to the US to everywhere, and then to screen it in IFFI, I mean, this is like the cherry on the cake. So it has been a wonderful journey, and it has been a very overwhelming and a very fulfilling, enriching journey. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Coming towards movie Mahananda, I request director Arindam Seal Dada to share his experience on making the movie Mahananda.
Thank you. Thank you, Piyush ji. Sumit ji, Salil ji, Vikram ji, brothers in the game that we all are into. I call it a game because it's game of life that we all work upon.
True.
All throughout our life. Friends from the press and media, I'm here with my music director, my childhood friend, and as I keep saying that I have given him to do the music of all my films, not because he's my childhood friend, but because every time I give him to do a music, he comes with something else, and that is Pandit Vikram Ghosh.
Wow, wow, wow.
I'm extremely proud and happy to announce before you that he received the Sangeet Natak Academy Award yesterday in contemporary music. People who've got this award are the likes of Vishwaman Bhatt ji, with whom Vikram, of course, works a lot. Vikram is also doing the song for the INB Ministry of Amrit Mahotsav, along with Ricky Cage, the Grammy Award winner, and Vikram himself is a Grammy nominee.
Wow, wow, wow.
That's very little of all that I've said.
No.
Gargi Roy Chaudhary, my actor, is an incredible theatre walker and a film actress. She's done very important characters. And in this film, Mahananda, she portrays the character from a 30-year-old to a 75-year-old. In fact, the prosthetics that was done upon her and the way it worked, even after the screening this day before yesterday, people wouldn't recognize or believe that she was the lady who did the 75-year-old. Firdaus Al Hassan, my producer, longtime friend, This is my first film with him, but he's done a lot of important work. He's got national awards, Filmfare Awards, and of course have been here at the IFFI in Panorama earlier also. He's been doing work in very serious cinema. Having said all this, why Mahananda? This is when I felt, I have done 18 films. Mahananda is my 16th film, and my 17th film is going to release in 2nd of December. But most of the films that I've done are thrillers, detective stories, and they've been all major hits in this part of the country. But at times you do film because it compels you to do.
Right.
I've done film like Dhananjay, and I did Mahananda. And I felt that Mahananda is so very important a subject to work upon at this time. A time when we are running through a very complex era. Complex, all complexities that we ourselves have created in the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of differences. Everything that the country is going through is all that we have created ourselves. They were not created earlier. This is the time when you have to talk about principles of life. People, you come across very few people nowadays who actually lead life with principles. And Mahashweta Devi was one. Mahashweta Devi is a subject who's taught in the American universities. In the Indian university, we don't talk about her. So when my producer came over and said, Arindamda, let's do a good film. Let's not talk about business. How many producers do you get who comes and tells you that? Who's ready to take the burden and asks you to do a film that comes out of the heart? And I credit Hassan for that. And that's when Gargi and myself, we were chatting up. And of course, I have to take the name of this great journalist from Bengal, Mr. Ashok Dasgupta, Gargi's husband, who actually sent me a few papers and said, if anybody in Bengal can do this film, it would be Arindam Shil. So give him this. I read and I got charged up. Here's a lady who led his life by principles, coming from a capitalistic family, married to a communist household, from riches to rags. That was her life. The kind of struggle that she did just because of her love and her passion for communism was incredible. And then her husband was actually the great playwright who wrote Nabanno. And he was the member of the IPT of those times. But he also wanted to make good in life. So he wrote films, scripts like Nagin Kanya. He compromised. That's what Mahashweta Devi thought, that he compromised his principles to write frivolous scripts. And that was the reason why she left him.
Oh.
She left her husband and her child in those days just because of principles. And she couldn't bear the torture, the mental torture that she was going through. She went to commit suicide. She got saved. She went on to become the biggest social activist this country has ever produced. No one in this country has worked for the tribals, the Shabor, the Mundas, the way that she has done. Medha Patekarji and Mahashweta Devi were like comrades in arms. They were great friends. And as Mahashweta Devi used to say, that you struggle for water and I struggle for the jungle. And all that we struggle for are for the real people of India. They may not know who the president of the country is. They may not know where Kolkata or Mumbai is, but these are the real people of India. Her whole life was fighting for the real people of India, and that is when she realized that her very own Communist Party in Bengal was going astray. They were forgetting the roots, the same roots for which people respected the party. She left the party. She again left the party and she lived her life on her own, and she continued till her last day, struggling and working and talking about these people whom we call backward classes. But they were the people who were the first of the Indians who had actually fought against the British. All these things we tried to bring in Mahananda. I never wanted to do a biopic on Mahashweta Devi for the simple reason that we all know she's a Sahitya Academy winner, she's a Magsaysay winner, she's all the, when she was born, what all happened in her life. That wasn't it. We tried to juxtapose the characters that she created, like Hajar Chaurasi Ki Maa, and the brilliant, incredible stories that she's written. And she's already said that I don't create stories, they are there. I just only write about them. And that's exactly what she's done all throughout her life. And that is the only reason why I felt that it's the responsibility of us filmmakers also that we should bring forward and talk about these principles. It's time that we teach our children, like you are talking about. You have worked on a micro level. That's so very important also. That our children, they are the future of our nation, and they should lead a life of principles.
Right.
Who else can than the parents, fathers, mothers, and leaders on whom we can really look upon and say, that's the person we should follow. Mahashweta Devi was followed by thousands and the masses. She's regarded as God in the jungles. That is the only reason why I felt that as a filmmaker, it is my moral duty and responsibility that I should also talk about someone whom we are all trying to forget. Mahashweta Devi is unforgettable. That is why I named the film Mahananda. Like the river Mahananda, let her principles flow from one generation to another. Thank you so much, and sorry for taking so much of time.
Very wonderful. Wonderful, Dada.
Thank you so much, Arindam sir, for enlightening us. And before inviting Pandit Bikram Dada Ghosh to share his thoughts, I would like to first of all congratulate him for the award and also give best wishes for his future ventures. Now I invite Pandit Bikram Ghosh Dada to share his thoughts on the movie and the music.
Thank you so much. Mahananda was a very challenging job musically. From whatever little you've seen in the trailer, there is a constant ominousness in the film. The ominousness is one of tragedy, of death, of sorrow, of unexpected life jerks, which her life was inundated with. So that ominousness is juxtaposed in the film with a completely tribal score. So the songs are all tribal sounding songs. They're all original songs. None of them are taken from the tribal folklore. But we created the songs. It was written by Subhendu Das Munshi, who stuck to the words, the bhasha of the Munda tribe, which is very difficult. And we used the instruments of the Munda tribe, like the banam, the bone flutes, and they have these typical instruments, the very typical thamsa they have. So all of that was used. The songs are all tribal. The background is also using those instruments, But whenever we jump into the past of Mahasweta Devi, where we are showing the affluence, and she came from a very classic family, as in they were very high up in society. They had certain principles, and as Arindam was saying, there we are using classical music and ragas. So that juxtaposition, I think, is what was important in the film. Very challenging film, very challenging score. And with the part he didn't talk about is his structure of the film is non-linear. So it jumps across. So you have a scene where she's 25, and right after that, the camera pans in a way that she becomes 75, and the music is still continuing. So you have to mesh it together in that way. So I have to say a bit about Gargi, who she just did an unbelievable job. I mean, if you see the film, you're going to be stunned by the performance, and it's a lifetime performance, really. So yeah, for me, it's an honor to be part of a project like this. And Arindam and I have done all kinds, really. We've done the Bhumkesh series, we've done all kinds of projects which are very, very different. But Mahananda is very special because this is, and to use a big word, verisimilitude. It's reality. And it's so real that it's harsh, dark, gripping reality. So the music cannot be electronic. It has to be organic. You have to get those sounds. So I did get the musicians from Purulia, from the Santal tribes, from the Munda tribes, and we recorded them in the studios. So we got that authenticity of sound. So that this is a very special project, and I think we're very proud of Arindam for making this film. Fantastic.
So this is Shakuntala Bharane for All India Radio.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We have to wait for a couple of minutes before Vikramji share his thoughts. I now request Shri Vikram Patwardhanji, the director of the movie Frame, to share his thoughts and how it was working with another film director, Nagaraj Manjude.
Hello everyone. Good morning. This process started, I think, 15 years back when I was working as a photojournalist. So I used to work as a photojournalist for 2 leading newspapers in Pune. And this is something that is coming out of my own experience, and not like the event-wise, but just the psyche that a photojournalist goes through. And that is something that I tried to depict in the film. Working with Nagaraj Manjude is an incredible experience, it's extremely enriching. He's someone that I was always a big fan and a big admirer of. And when I was writing his character, Chandu Pansare, I had him in mind while writing the film, and he was my first choice, and I never met him before this film, or before even the reading. Never in my life I met him. So first time I met him, I went to his house and I read the script for him, and he said, okay, we are doing it. It was as simple as that. So yeah, the experience was incredible. The journey was incredible. Talking about Frame is what is mentioned in the synopsis. It's basically, as Chandu Pansare quote to his newly joined photojournalist, that just like our profession. So what photojournalists do is they're living different worlds in the same day. In the morning I'm going to cover some crime scenes. In the evening I'm going for a music concert. At night I'm going, I don't know, I'm going to cover riot. So in a day you are literally going through different worlds, and that is something that Chandu Pansare is quoting to his newly joined Siddharth Deshmukh, that just like our profession, our life is also an art. जैसे हमारे फील्ड में पता नहीं है कब क्या होगा, हमारी जिंदगी में भी पता नहीं, we don't know what is going to happen in our life also. And that's what he says, just like our profession, our life is also an art, and there is no format for any art. And so that is something that is ज़्यादा spoiler में दे नहीं सकता because the film is not released yet. But the overall experience was incredible, working with Nagaraj Manjude, with Ameya Wagh, with the incredible production team, Z Studios, Atpat, and Ranjit Gugale, Anish Jogwar, our associate producers. The overall experience was incredible, and you just realize why you have to have a good team in front of the camera and back of the camera. You know, it was very difficult film to make. Location-wise, we were like, we finished the film in 20 days, you know, but yeah, we finished the film in 20 days. It's not possible without having a very strong team and without, you know, very thorough professional people in your team, you know. But yeah, this is something about Frame. I mean, as you quote, you know, this is my own experience. I never thought I would be sitting here, or I never ever thought that when I'll write a script, you know, this is the first thing that I wrote in my life, and I'm here. So it's actually, I'm like bringing that quote to life myself, you know. So yeah, the overall, right now I'm a bit speechless also, because the journey was incredible, you know. Writing the first draft, then taking it to your producers, then taking to the actors that you admire, love, respect, and they're saying yes to your film, and you're doing a film. So yeah, so the journey is incredible, and yeah, I'm just happy right now, you know.
Great, very.
So before taking questions from the audience, it's a kind request to please ask just one question and then pass on. And if the time permits, we can have another round of questions.
Before we go into the questions, I just want to add one thing, if you may kindly permit.
All yours.
And that is because we have filmmakers, actors, music directors working from kind of field that we called regional cinema. But let me tell you, and I thank this platform, IFFI, to actually accredit the fact that we are making Indian cinema, we don't make regional films. We are making Indian cinema in Marathi, Gujarati, Bangla, and that's all about it. We are making big cinemas in very small budgets. We actually do films in 18 to 20 days in small budgets. But we are trying to create cinema that will represent the real India. Thank you so much.
Well said, Dada. Cinema is always associated with money. It's not that. Yes, please.
Thank you, Dada. The floor is open for questions. You may ask.
First of all, sorry, sir, for disturbing. I was not aware of this. Out of excitement, it came. I'm a witness for the movie Mahananda. And I was so much impressed, especially this lady. A main role, music, and your directions are amazing. I really take an opportunity to congratulate you, because it was a wonderful movie. And that too, with all studious travel of her life of Mahashweta Devi. And I was amazed as a musician also with the music. When it was going a little, 2 minutes, 1 minute, I was feeling like it should continue. Literally, I recorded on my mobile, and I was feeling sad because the response I was expecting more from the audience. But only the second part I felt was little dragging more. Sorry for that. This is my expression. And overall movie, it is wonderful movie. It's a wonderful. These two send it for World Award, because it is our own land's speciality, and it is our land. Everything is depicted there in that movie. Just I want to say that it should be curtailed a bit, and otherwise the wonderful movie. In my life, I think I enjoyed the movie most, and especially I got the story of Mahashweta Devi without reading it anywhere. I realized, being a lady, I realized in that period how she must have faced and why she has to do it, being so rich and coming from a very renowned family. Congratulations. I was very curious to see you, sir, as a musician. It's amazing, means amazing. It's a real the music from the land we have picked up and given prestige to that. Beautiful.
Sorry, ma'am.
That's
Next question, please.
really heartening, extremely heartening. Thank you so much.
Can we have Gargi say something, because
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
done
sir.
such
Yes,
amazing
yes.
work.
Acha. Okay,
Ma'am,
That's
my-
for you, Gargi.
so there's a question coming up from there, and then
Please.
next to
Sir, it
Gargi.
was same. I wanted to request
excuse
the
me,
lead
excuse me.
actress to say
Please wait for a minute. Ma'am, please.
Bol.
No, she's
No,
asking you the question.
he wanted to ask a question to you, but he wants something else.
Hello everyone. First of all, congratulations on all your movies. I watched Frame, but the other two I could not catch, but I will definitely watch it. And Arindam sir was telling about Mahashweta Devi, and I'm now truly intrigued to watch more about it. And sir, you told about Ms. Gargi enacting a role which varied from 25 years to 75 years. I would like to hear from you, Ms. Gargi, how difficult was it to adapt to that during the movie, and how did you transform, like, from 25 years to 75 years? Like it used to change, right? So what was your mindset? What was going through? If you could please let us know.
Thank you so much. It was a journey, acting under a very renowned and very close my friend Arindam and Vikramda and my very good friend Firdausul Hassan, the producer. It's a team. Vikram was saying the right thing, that the team should be very good behind the camera and in front of the camera. So it was really it was a character which I was living in. I just put my leg in her shoe. I remember the day when Arindam told me, you have to do the prosthetic. I said, what's that? Then our makeup artist Shomnath, he's a brilliant makeup artist. And he said, Gargidi, you have to do this, do that. I'm okay. So being a very patient, girl, people used to say, not Arindam, I know. So, but in Sanskrit we know the Atmanang Biddhi, or that you should know yourself. And after finishing this, this journey, I felt मैं ज़्यादा ही शांत हूँ जो मैं सोच रही थी इतने दिन. I was much शांत than that. So it was a journey. It's a beautiful journey. And I remember after seeing the rush cut, first phone came from Bikram and said, Gargi, you nailed it. And after that, I don't know, because after the makeup, Arindam was calling me and said, see, have a look. See how you are looking. I said, no, I don't want to come. I don't want to see. See, I'm telling you, see. So he is the captain. So I said, hello, oh, is it me? So this was the thing I enjoyed thoroughly throughout the journey. And of course, my starting from my producer, my friend Firdausul, my friend Arindam, and my very good friend Vikramda, all were pampering me a lot.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what?
The one thing that impressed me the most, please tell them how you changed your walk. A 25-year-old to a 75-year-old.
No, but I always think that actor is all about, you have to observe the people around you. I have seen people who have spondylosis, who have pain in their, in their this portion. So how do they walk? How do they used to, put their hand like this? How do they sit if they have a knee pain? So it's all about from my observation. And also Hashnu Mukherjee, she's a very good friend of mine. She used to tell me, Gargi, I saw Mahashweta Di. So, you exactly did the same. You tell me what she used to do. Yes, she used to, she used to smoke like this. I'm okay, fine. So these are the things, these are the small experiences what I got from this project. And my captain said so correctly that you have to be with the character. You have to be with the with the character you are portraying. It's very easy to say, but it's so hard to be in it. But if you could adopt it, it's fine. Then it's a game. It's a very game of pleasure, you know. That's what I felt. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question for me? Yeah, please.
Very good morning, sir. It's to Anandam, sir. As you told, it's not autobiography, but more of principles and ethics. So, what was the research process? What are the in public domain? It's available information. You have taken based or more research with the family who are all lead. How was that process? I wanted to know.
The whole film has been a development of work that actually entailed 2 years of research. There are a lot of books on Mahashweta Devi. In fact, my producer sent me the whole works of Mahashweta Devi, which is in 13 volumes. Okay, and that's how we were working. We worked very closely with the family. I have seen Mahashweta Devi myself. I have walked in processions, in rallies and protest marches along with her. And I have seen very little of her, but people who've actually been very close to her. Okay, I actually got those nuances inside the film, like the kind of sari that she used to wear. Mahashweta Devi never used to wear new saris because stiffness of the cloth used to hurt her. So she used to give the saris away to people who were very close to her. And they would wear the sari and then give it to her after it became soft. So throughout the film, all the saris that Gargi was wearing were absolutely soft, weathered saris. Mahashweta Devi used to write 16 to 18 hours a day. And because of that, she used to write with thick pens. So all those things went into the production design. Because of she used to write for so long, she used to have a heightened up a cushion on her, so she could write like this. Okay, her hand used to be like this when she's writing. So all those things have been incorporated in the film. She was an eccentric. She would walk into a police station and just, without any, not even take up the chair, she would hold her biri and go up on the table of the, and that's a real life incident. That came from the very famous painter Shubha Proshono, who told me that she would just walk into an editor's room and just get up on her on the desk and light up a biri and said, "Where's my money? You haven't yet paid me. Come on, give me my money." And she was like that, you know. She would call up somebody and say that, "You haven't yet given me my money. Where's it?" And every time she used to do that. You know why? Because she had to spend for the children, for the people, for their kapra, their food and everything. So it has been quite of a research. And Gargi and myself actually had, you would call it workshop, but we used to have a lot of discussions of how to create Mahashweta Devi. And this was happening when COVID was there. So we were over the Zoom, we were discussing and creating the norms and the nuances of Mahashweta Devi constantly, and that's how it happened. We shot the film right after, so it was in those bad times with masks. Let me tell you, we shot it when the temperature was nothing less than 35 to 40 degrees. Okay, and she had prosthetics which used to take 3 hours, but we did it.
Any other question, please?
Yes, please.
You spoke about principles. These days we have a lot of hundreds of channels. Everybody is showing these Saas Bahu films, and all they are taking revenge on each other, and nobody is showing anything on principles. Every year I am asking the same questions in IFFI. why this type of personalities like Mahashweta Devi, their life is not being shown on channels? Because what we are giving to the new generation, Salil sir, छोटी छोटी मुलं आमच्या टीव्हीवर काय काय पाहत आहेत, फाइट्स ऑफ
एक फक्त ऍड करतो. I have decided one thing. In all the future films I'll make, and even the films I did, there will not be any negative character in the film, because I know that situations are villains.
Absolutely. Very true.
And you have to fight with the situations. You don't need bad characters. या दोनों फिल्म मध्ये ये कोई नहीं था कि दूध में पॉइजन डाल रहा है, कोई ब्रेक लूज कर रहा है. नो, क्यों चाहिए? We have sufficient problems here. Good people have sufficient problems. You don't need additional bad people to add to your problems. We already have problems. इथे खड्ड्यात बघा रस्त्यात, त्याच्या आता कुठे परत एक Why do you need a villain?
रोज आमची मुलं ते बघतात टीव्हीवर, मग टीव्हीवर काहीतरी चांगलं दाखवायला पाहिजे, नाहीतर आमची मुलाच्या मनावर का त्यांच्या भावविश्वामध्ये आम्ही काय काय हे करतो.
प्रश्न विचारावा. प्रश्न.
But answering your question,
part of my question,
let me tell you, this is the platform to get national recognition. When out of 20 films in the Panorama, this is the only Bengali film that gets selected. That itself goes to show that what we are trying to project. There are good minds, there are positive minds in the country. I met the jury members who came personally before the film started, and the chairman, who came over and said that it's a complete film, and we can't but help tell you that this is such a wonderful documentation. Back home, there are poets, politicians, activists who constantly came over to our shows and said that, man, you've got guts to make a film like that. That inspires. And let me tell you one thing, everything is not negative in life. I mean, before this film was released in theater, it was taken up by Z. It was bought up by Z. So there are avenues of, showing the film all across, of distribution that has developed. And there are various platforms. So that is happening. They accept it. The same Z who would do what we quote unquote we call a commercial film also has taken up Mahananda, and that's the greatness. I don't have anything against so-called commercial films. I mean, that is also good. We need entertainment in life.
Done a whole bunch of them.
Hello.
On a series. Okay, let's see. Thank you so much for your
Pawarji, please.
I have a point to make. Can I?
Anji?
I have a point to make here.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the gentleman because Mrs. Sumit Raghavan is here from Wagle Ki Dunya, and I'm Lalit Rao, FIPRISKI member. I'm mostly into world cinema, but when it comes to television, that's the only thing I watch. And his program is doing a commendable job. I think he deserves a big round of applause, because for the family values which are portrayed in this serial. Because I only watch world cinema. Please excuse me for my elitist taste, but Wagle Ki Dunya is the only thing which I watch, and we watch it in family, and everybody watches, and we need even like good films and as well as good content on television. True. So Mrs. Sumit Raghavan is doing a fantastic job, and please tell the message to all the team.
I will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please.
That's true.
It's a kind request from my side. Please ask the questions. We are not here to give opinions. Please.
Yeah, I have a question to Sumit sir. There are various aspects to a father and son relationship. So could you elaborate on the main dimensions of the relationship explored in your film?
In the film, okay. It's as Salil has beautifully written the lines. It's his baby, but we all share this common thought, is that kids also have a point of view. Just because the child is small, we can't just shoo him away. He has a say. We need to understand that. As far as me as a father, I always feel that if my son is now 25 years old, so I am also a father, like I'm a 25-year-old father, right? So, exactly. So he is more like a friend. So I need to get into his shoes. I need to think what he's thinking. I need to understand, and I need to be pally. So that is what. And you just can't override them. You just can't say नहीं तुम छोटे हो बेटा, रुको तुम्हें कुछ नहीं आता. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. वो क्या कहना चाह रहा है आपको जानना बड़ा ज़रूरी है, और आपको उसके कद तक पहुंचकर उससे बात करनी है. सो दिस इज़ व्हाट आई फील दैट एवरी वन शुड डू, एंड आई नो दैट एवरीबडी nurtures and tries to be friendly and tries to understand the child in their own little way. But I feel we should all give equal importance to a child and his mind. We should take care of minds.
Very well said.
I'll just add one thing. There is a line in the song, one of the songs, that not only take my my good points and my art and my strength, but you will have to take my restlessness as well. The father says to his son that you will have to take my restlessness, because I am restless and you need to be restless, because restless people are necessary to have good choices, to make good choices. If we are happy with the available things, you won't reach anywhere. So father is telling his son that you need to be restless to be like me. So you have to take my restlessness as well. So या film मध्ये ते पण आहे. In this film we have shown that also, that the son is taking all his restlessness as well along with his good points.
प्रश्न सुमित सर आणि मयूर विक्रम पटवर्धन. सलील सर तुम्हाला पण
प्रश्न थोडा हळूहळू विचारावा, मी पॅराफ्रेज करून सगळ्यांना कळवतो.
मुलांसाठी गाणं म्हणणारा सलील दादा, डॉक्टर सलील कुलकर्णी चित्रपटाच्या दुनियेकडे कसा वळला? आणि विक्रम पटवर्धनसाठी प्रश्न आहे, फ्रेममध्ये अमेय वाघ सोबत नागराज मंजुळेंचं हे कॅरेक्टर कसं केलं?
His first question is how a person like Dr. Saab, who makes music for children, turned towards cinema. And his second question for Vikram Patwardhanji is how working with two legends, Nagaraj Manjule and Amay Wagh, how it came along.
You do first. हे कसं आलं याचं ॲक्च्युली माझ्याकडे असं काही प्रिसाईज उत्तर नाही आहे. जसं तुम्ही लिहायला लागता, एखादं स्क्रिप्ट तुम्ही जशी लिहायला लागता, तसं तुमच्यासमोर ते पात्र उभं राहायला लागतं. जैसे हम लिखना शुरू करते हैं तो वो कैरेक्टर एक फॉर्म ले लेता है अपने आप, और जब लिख के हो गया तो आई न्यू आई वॉन्ट अमेय वाघ फॉर दिस कैरेक्टर एंड नागराज मंजुळे फॉर दिस कैरेक्टर. एज सिम्पल एज दैट. देयर वॉज नो सेकंड थॉट. आय टूक द स्क्रिप्ट टू अमेय वाघ. अमेय वाघकडे मी स्क्रिप्ट नेली, अमेयाला ऐकवली, अमेय म्हणाला मला आवडलं मी करतो. आय टूक द स्क्रिप्ट टू नागराज दादा, नागराज दादाला ऐकवली, तो म्हणाला मला आवडलं मी करतो. ॲज सिम्पल ॲज दॅट. सो ते लिहितानाच तेच दोघं माझ्या डोळ्यासमोर होते, आणि आय वॉज जस्ट फॉर्च्युनेट इनफ की त्या दोघांना ते आवडलं आणि ते करायला तयार झालं.
डॉक्टर साहेब,
see, I've been doing music since my childhood, and it's all about storytelling again. All are storytellers. So it's all about storytelling, and at one point you feel that okay, I can tell this story through my song. Then at one point you feel that I can tell this story through my writing. There is a point when it is insufficient. It is you feel that I want to show the exact picture I have been seeing while singing this song to the people, to the audience. And when that restlessness goes to that level, then you need to show the same picture. तुम्हाला तुम्ही लिहिताना तुम्ही मी समजा लिहिलं की एक पत्रकार परिषद झाली, एक प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स हुआ, I can write this line, or I can sing a song about a lonely kid. But if I want to show the eyes of that lonely kid, then I have to show it in a film. And if I can't just write a line that एक press conference हुआ, I have to show all of these people. कौन बैठे थे. तो that urge to convey the story the way you have seen it goes to that level, then you make a film, I think.
True.
Question.
I have a question again for Dr. Salil Kulkarni. You've been working with children for such a long time, but childhood has over the years changed in terms because of the technology and the pace of life. So how does that reflect in the work you do or in this film? Does it?
If you have seen the film, there are two kids who are doing a video diary every day, and that was a device I was waiting for, because I was not been able to think of a device that how would we get to know about what the child is thinking, because वो जो एक सीरियल वाला होता है ना कि वो ऐसा बैठा है और ऑडियो आ रहा है, I could not approve of that myself. Then I thought कि ये अगर आज का लड़का है तो वो वीडियो करेगा रोज, जो व्लॉग करते हैं आजकल, तो वीडियो करेगा रोज और वो बात कर रहा है कि आई एम नॉट लाइकिंग दिस द वे माई फादर इज डूइंग दिस थिंग और माई मदर इज टॉकिंग दिस थिंग, आई एम नॉट लाइकिंग इट, सो ही इज टॉकिंग टू द phone, both of, so exactly हे आत्ताच है, this is like today's kid, but I don't think there is, in fact the parents have changed, not the kids. The parenthood has changed. Parents are like celebrating their parenthood on the weekends by taking kids to a mall, and they feel that I've done my duty. But I think the parent-child relationship, I was very fortunate that I spoke about this at Stanford last month. They had invited to speak about this, the same topic, changing childhood, storytelling and a lullaby. That was the topic. So childhood hasn't changed at all. Parents have changed, devices definitely have changed, but child is equally like it's an empty hard disk.
That's a mold of clay.
जो आप चाहे you can save in them. One thing for sure, again, from my childhood to today's kids, nobody really tells you the story properly. Story in the sense of story of life. They just assume. I'll just give you one small example. If there is a boy of like 2 years old boy, and the mom is pregnant for the second time, the way we declare it to the kid, कि अरे तू अब बड़ा भाई हो गया आज से. How? And when did this happen? Like, and nobody asked me, ki, do you want to be an elder brother? No, nobody asked me this.
I don't want admission in that school. He'll say.
Exactly. I don't want anyone in the same chair now, because there is going to be a person who is going to be sitting in the same chair. I don't want that. So you have to. There is a way of telling any news. I think that's how I thought of this film actually.
Just to add to your expression, Dr. Saab, as ma'am asked, you said that technology, how it happened, then he is recording on phone. I was there for the screening. Even in that movie, Chintan and Kiran go to a psychiatrist when he is going through a phase.
Exactly.
Maybe in earlier days it might not have happened in your childhood or even our childhood. It never happened that parents are.
वो तो 20-25 साल यही होता था कि अरे उसको खाने को दो कुछ अच्छा. Any problem, बच्चे को अच्छा कुछ खाने को दो. That is the only way.
And the time remaining, अभ्यास कर.
अभ्यास कर.
Next question, please.
This one is to Mr. Vikram Patwardhan. You have worked as a photojournalist 10-15 years ago.
Yeah.
And today the news of world has seen a paradigm shift.
Yeah, true.
What do you have to tell about the sensationalism, and is it necessary for a photojournalist to have sensationalism?
Okay, it's a bit tricky question.
The media is under the fire.
No, what has happened is जो एक सबसे important चीज़ चली गई है because of the technology and everything, mobile basically, exclusiveness जो था वो चला गया. And we have to accept this कि there is nothing exclusive now. Media wise, कहीं पे अगर बाहर अभी कुछ हो जाए तो 1 मिनट के अंदर मेरे इंस्टा पे उसका कुछ आ जाएगा. I don't have to be there to witness जो and this is something that I learned from the photojournalists who were working on the films. जो डिजिटल कैमरा आने से पहले जो photojournalists काम करते थे on the negative, they had to be very precise with their click. यू नो, क्योंकि जो प्रोसेस है वो बहुत लंबा होता था उनके लिए, कि मुझे बहुत ही प्रिसाइज 2 ही फ़ोटो क्लिक करने हैं, क्योंकि मेरे रोल में उतने ही बचे हैं, उसमें से एक ही मैं जाके वो डेवलपर को दे के वो मुझे देगा, मुझे वो ऑफिस में देना है, और वो अगर छप के आएगा तो मुझे पेमेंट मिलेगा। तो ये प्रोसेस जो है ना वो अभी चला गया। मैं एक इवेंट के 1000 फोटो खींचता हूँ अभी एक्चुअली, लाइक आई जस्ट रेज माई कैमरा एंड आई क्लिक 1000 पिक्चर्स, और उसमें से एक तो बैठ जाएगा। या तो आई मीन नथिंग एज एक्सक्लूसिवली मीडिया में भी अभी कुछ नहीं है। सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट आई रियली मिस्ड, क्योंकि मैंने जब शुरू किया तब ये वर्ल्ड ख़त्म हो चुका था। जो फिल्म फोटो जर्नलिस्ट काम करते थे वो जस्ट ख़त्म हो चुका था, और हम पहले थे जो डिजिटल इक्विपमेंट यूज़ करने लगे, तो हम उनसे सिर्फ किस्से ही सुनते थे।
Can I just, I mean, this is not in order, but still, something parallel in the music world.
Exactly.
It's so relevant what you just said. See, I started doing music when live musicians used to be there. Right. And then the transition happened. And at one point you used to have 30 people in the room. Now you have one guy who's programming. And there's a lot of software on your screen.
Yeah.
So what has happened is you have deleted the human being, right? There's one person who's triggering all those sounds. लेकिन आप जितना भी कोशिश करो, एक जो आप, if you want to do a modulatory note, which you're a musician, you would know that the modulatory note will you can't do it to your own human interpretation.
Yeah.
Because that has its own. So when you trigger it, it will only do वही फीड किया गया है उसमें. You can't actually do. ये नहीं हुआ. तो उससे क्या हो गया? You have lost that human touch.
Absolutely.
And it's so difficult to actually create that in imitation of the human being, you know. So we are in tricky times, man.
We are
very tricky times.
I agree.
Also, I just remembered this. Over the last 3 mornings at Vivanta, whenever we were going for breakfast, there was this gentleman who was playing an instrument.
Yeah.
It's called the Bulbul Tarang. And we don't remember that instrument anymore, but the way Bulbul Tarang has contributed to Indian cinema and music is incredible. And now here is this gentleman who plays that music. वो बोलते हैं मेरे दादाजी का इंस्ट्रूमेंट है ये. You should see that proud in that person, but is singing it in a hotel banquet hall. Such has become the destiny of passionate musicians also.
Yeah.
हेलो सलील जी और विक्रम जी, आप दोनों से एक क्वेश्चन है. म्यूजिक प्रोडक्शन जो आजकल हो रहा है, जैसे आपने बोला कि एक आदमी बैठता है और बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक ही, सो इट्स बिकम्स अ वन मैन शो. तो क्या ये उसमें कुछ मोनोटोनसनेस आता है क्या? और वो मोनोटोनसनेस हटाने के लिए एकॉस्टिक इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन फिर से हमको, अभी तो एक को लाकर हम कर सकते हैं, तो वो मोनोटोनस हटाने के लिए एक्चुअल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स लाकर करना जरूरी है क्या?
I would say this for myself, I mean others to themselves. In all the films I've scored for, which is near about 50 films now, I have used about 80% live sound. And the programming is only 20%. But some films demand programming. If you need an electronica score, then you will need to do that programming. But live musicians, there is no way you can substitute a live musician. There is no way. Even the tonality of it, because there's a resonance. वो रेजोनेंस नहीं आएगा आपका, बिकॉज इट्स सो डिजिटल, इट्स वेरी कंप्रेस्ड. उसके बाद आपको आर्टिफिशियली रिवर्ब डालना पड़ेगा. सो ये सब प्रॉब्लम्स है. बट द लाइव म्यूजिशियन is indispensable in my opinion. The problem lies in the fact that because the live musicians are getting so little work now, they're not letting their progeny, they're not creating students, so you don't have so many people anymore, you know. So for example, you want a sarangi, you know, there's like 4 people playing sarangi, you know, in the entire country. If you want to, like, I was talking about the Bulbul Tarang. One guy I found in the eastern part of India, उसको बोल के लाया यार बजा दे यार. So he is like, मेरे बेटे को मेरे को नहीं सिखाना है, you know. So this is the problem. So we need to really create a system, an ecosystem where, you know, this thrives, because this is India and this is our sound, this is our culture. Sitar, sarod, bulbul tarang, bansuri, ये जो बनाम है, जो मुंडा tribe का बनाम है, it's a kind of a violin. So that is, now how many people are playing? Like 4 people. What do you do with that? What is going to happen 30 years later?
Next question, please.
I love using live instruments. Even you might have seen my programs, performances. I always use like harmonium, ek rhythm instrument or ek guitar. That's it. I always have that kind of a setup. In recordings also, as Bikram Da said very precisely, क्या होता है कि it is very easy to program a song, but the thing missing in that is, जब 2 म्यूजिशियन एक साथ बैठते हैं तो उनका एक जो गिव एंड टेक होता है ना, एक उनका एक ये होता है ना, हाँ चल पिकअप के लिए जो, तो उसके हाँ वो एनर्जी जो क्रिएट होती है कि एक दो रिदम से एक साथ जो पिकअप लेते हैं ना, तो एक एनर्जी क्रिएट होती है.
फ्लैम है.
एग्जैक्टली. एक ह्यूमन एरर जो होता है ना, आजकल क्या करना पड़ता है, वो प्रोग्राम करते हैं और ह्यूमनाइज बोलते हैं. ह्यूमनाइजिंग द थिंग, ये कितना उल्टा ट्रैवल चल रहा है.
उसका भी बटन है.
टू ह्यूमनाइज वाला एक प्लगइन है कि टू ह्यूमनाइज. That is so weird. Rather you should use human rather than using a sound. So that's sad, but I personally prefer using live instruments जो जितना भी हो सके, especially rhythm. Rhythm का एक इतना, we have such a brilliant tradition of rhythm instruments. I prefer using most of them.
नहीं, कभी-कभार नहीं, वही है.
Another thing that has done another thing to the music industry is programmers are becoming music directors and not the music composers.
Very true, very true, very true.
So music industry is run by the programmers more than the composers these days.
You know, one thing, I mean, just this is going too long, I know, but has to be said, there is, be it for actors, be it for musicians, we communicate strongest through the modulatory note, right? If I say, "Hi Sumit, how are you?" "Hi Sumit, how are you?" You know, the minute you use the modulatory note, there is an emotion being conveyed, and there is an exchange. The other person gets, "Oh, he's a nice person. Oh, he's cold. He's not nice." You know, all of that comes in within that sentence. You know, same with musical instruments. So, when there is a modulatory note, and India is full of those instruments, sitar, sarod, ye wo jo bhi hai. So, that instrument, if it is gone, we've lost the modulatory note. Communication is lost, and that's bad for the psychology of a nation. You know, because we are losing that warmth, you know, that communication. So yeah, I mean, I just hope things get better.
Parikshit ji, please ask question.
My question to Arindam. Recently we had the opportunity to visit Bhasha Tribal Academy in Tejgarh, Gujarat. That place, they have a memorial for Mahashweta Devi, saying that she's blessed that place. She's stayed there with tribal children of migrant workers, and she's done a lot to conserve indigenous languages also. Are you considering portrayal of those shades of her life on the big screen, maybe sometime in the future?
See, this one film that we did by itself needs time to seep in. This film has to be given the time to seep in. This is not just a run-of-the-mill film ki अरे गया और एकदम हाउसफुल हो गया, and you know, people are from everywhere they're watching. This by itself, a film like this will take some time to go. Today there are 20 people out here, out of which 5 people might get interested. Sumit, Salil ji, Vikram ji might get interested. Any one of you, कि ये चलो महानंदा देखते हैं क्या है. And then, you know, that is how even I would want to see his cinema. Yes, definitely works with the tribals and such people are very important, but for that you need immense amount of patience, hard work, and you yourself have to be educated. As a filmmaker, I myself, if I don't see a film from the first frame till the last frame, if I don't visualize it, I will never go to shoot the film. And a film like Mahashweta has taken me 3 years to get visualized and ultimately shoot. So perhaps, yes, I'll remember this advice of yours. Try to.
Thank you. Any more questions?
मेरा सवाल सुमित जी से है।
जी।
सुमित जी,
जी।
कुछ रोल ऐसे होते हैं जब लोग एक्टर को अपना आदर्श मानते हैं।
जी।
जैसा कि राम, अरुण गोविंद राम नहीं थे,
जी।
फिर भी जब वो बाहरी जीवन में जाते थे तो लोग उन्हें चरण स्पर्श करके नमस्कार करते थे।
जी।
अभी आप भी एक आदर्श पिताजी का रोल निभा रहे हैं।
जी।
तो क्या आप खुद उस रोल से आदर्श ले रहे होंगे?
वैसे हर रोल से अगर आदर्श लेने लगेंगे तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगी, क्योंकि फिर लेकिन नहीं, आप का सवाल बिल्कुल सही है। हम उस सांचे में ढलने की कोशिश करते हैं, लेकिन फिर वो स्विच ऑन स्विच ऑफ मेथड होता है। आपको वो कपड़े उतार कर वहीं पे छोड़ने पड़ते हैं और आपको अपने कपड़े पहनने पड़ते हैं। लेकिन हर किरदार से कुछ ना कुछ मिलता ही है। जैसे इस फिल्म से मुझे ये बहुत स्ट्रांगली लगा कि हाँ, ये कभी जहन में नहीं आया कि कहानियों के द्वारा, कहानियों के माध्यम से आप किसी चीज़ को पहुंचा सकते हो। देखिए, हम सब यहाँ पर फिल्म से जुड़े हुए हैं, क्रिएटिव वर्ल्ड से जुड़े हुए हैं, लेकिन ज़िंदगी में अमूमन हम लोग इस तरह का कभी उपयोग नहीं करते हैं कि एक चीज़ जो आपको बयां करनी है वो आप कहानी के माध्यम से पहुँचाए। लेकिन इससे पता चलता है कि नहीं, सिर्फ कछुए और खरगोश की कहानी नहीं है, या मटके में पत्थर डालने वाले उस कौवे की कहानी नहीं है। इससे भी आगे चलकर अगर आपको कुछ बात पहुंचानी है तो उसके लिए आपको थोड़ा रिसर्च करना चाहिए। मैं पिताजी की तरफ से बोल रहा हूं कि आपको आपके बेटे या बेटी को कोई चीज़ समझानी हो तो जैसा मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि मन जो है ना, उसको संभालना बड़ा ज़रूरी है। और तो उसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि ये एक डिवाइस है जो मुझे लगा कि अरे हाँ, ये क्यों नहीं कभी दिमाग में आया मेरे। तो जी बिल्कुल, हर चीज़ से कुछ ना कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। वैसे इस फिल्म से मैंने ये ज़रूर सीखा है। खैर, अब बहुत देर हो चुकी है क्योंकि बच्चे बहुत बड़े हो गए मेरे, तो वही आजकल मैं उनसे कहता हूँ कि बेटा हमारा मन संभालना। बट जोक्स अपार्ट, कुछ ना कुछ ज़रूर हासिल होता ही है।
If there are no more questions, then I think I would like to tell that because we had two great personalities who understand music so well, the table talks had a musical feeling in it, and we understood so much more than just the 3 films about music also. So thank you Vikram da and Dr. Saab, and I express my sincere and heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished guests here and friends from media, and conclude the table talks. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very nice.